and governance. Midweek politics on Mainland 98.3 FM, bringing the right perspectives to everything politics.
For the good of all of us, do not allow the opportunity to make things better for us. They make it better for themselves, for their comfort and their families. Cronyism is prevailing. Today, our rulers in Abuja and across some of their states, you know what they say to us when they remove subsidy and we say no. Hunger is increasing, they say so what? Unemployment is a cause, they say yes, we know. Why are the people hungry? Is that let them face death. That is what is in Abuja of today. The current way of governance, make nation do the impossible. What it does, it makes poverty and the erosion of just society inevitable. We have gathered at this hour in this place to put an end to the national corruption and corruption. We have assembled here today to bring a new day and a new Nigeria to our people. Today, the Nigerian people are decent and hardworking people. They are equally long suffering. They tolerate for too long. Just because they are long suffering does not mean they should be forced to suffer on death come. We, our people, we've had enough of excuses. Our people have had enough of having nothing. The current government's trademark is to throw empty words, all action at our problem, as if doing nothing will cause our troubles to live for sheer boredom. Unemployment increasing. Industrialization, we have not. Refinery, nothing is working. Electricity, they lie. If this is the government of, if this is the government's idea of transformation, and we have none of it, we should not have any of it. Because before, we say the government of slow motion. Now, it is the government of no motion at all. If they want to stand still at the bus stop or train station and be stagnated without poverty, they have the right to do so, and we have our right to kick them out. Not enough that they are stealing from our children tomorrow for lack of investment in education. They are still embezzling the retirement benefit of hardworking Nigeria, including our grandfathers. They are stealing the port, the treasury, not even leaving some coins for us to war with. Let them be out. Out now.
Good afternoon, Lagos. Good afternoon, Nigeria, and good afternoon or good morning or whatever time of the day you are as you're watching us from every part of the world via social media platforms. You're welcome to Midweek Politics live on Mainland 98.3 FM. It's always my pleasure to have you join us every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. 120 minutes of conversation around politics, hardcore politics, way beyond what you get to hear from your regular news stories, what you get to watch from your regular TV news, or even beyond your social media, conversation. We bring you every factor, the nitty-gritty of whatever story we decide to focus on the show today. More importantly, we'll always open it up for you to join us via phone or your messages on all our social media platforms. Once again, you're welcome. My name is Mɪᴅ-ᴜᴇᴇᴜ Akiola, and it's always a privilege for me to come out and get 120 minutes of your time every Wednesday. It's just once a week. That's when we get to do this. This is not the only space where we get to have conversation around politics, current affairs, development, politics, like my friend Dr. Tɣᴇ would always call it. We'll always start from Sunday 6 to 8 p.m. on Political Roundtable, and Monday through Friday 4 to 5:30 p.m. we'll talk about the Situation Room. So today I don't get to run this show alone. I have two leaders where individuals, well-meaning Nigerians like Pastor Tunde, by the way, he clocked 70, day before yesterday. The likes of Professor Wole Soyinka, Senator Shehu Sani, and all of these people stood against the decision of the then President Goodluck Jonathan to, remove subsidy. And then there was more like a nationwide lockdown. I remember I was interning in a radio station then, and then I was practically resuming every day at the Ganifayemi Park at Ojota every single day. All those times there were celebrities, actors, actresses, musicians, all coming together. At the end of the day, the former president reversed that decision, and the now president, then the national leader, suggested that if you want to remove subsidies should not be removed at once. It should be removed in batches. But guess what? On the 29th of May 2023, right at Eagle Square in Abuja, where the now president Bola Ahmed Tinubu was being sworn in, there was an official announcement for the removal of subsidy. Yes, I said official because subsidy was not captured in the budget beginning from his own administration. The last subsidy capture we had was in May. So the former president Muhammadu Buhari did not hand over a budget for subsidy to the coming president. So hence the need for that announcement. However, there's been a lot of position about it. There's been a lot of issues about it, and more often than we can imagine, the issue of our own refineries. Just yesterday, NNPC Limited came out to say that they are not sabotaging the domestic refineries. And one would wonder, what does it take, what does it cost us to fix our own refinery? I've had a lot of conversation with a lot of people that have been to the Port Harcourt refinery. I've only been to the Kaduna refinery once, but I've never been to the Port Harcourt refinery. And one of the things they said was that, it's going to even cost us more to build a new it's going to cost us more to renovate that refinery than to build a new one. But NNPC Limited had constantly told us last year, from the time President Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over to August or September, I think, there were 8 different dates they were giving Nigerians that the refinery will come upstream. But since Dangote refinery came upstream, it's been an issue of Dangote with regulators, with IPMAN, with NNPC Limited, with Nigerians, with direct marketers, with independent marketers, with government policies, with price it's just been a whole lot of issues. It seems we've forgotten that we also have refineries that we should fix. So I've been wondering, if the government can give all of the support they gave to Dangote to set up his own refinery, one of the biggest in the world, then what is stopping us? If an individual can fix that, what is stopping a country from even renovating its own? I mean, we had people that worked on Dangote refineries. We could have just said, when you're done with this one, let's go to Warri, let's go to Port Harcourt, let's go to Kaduna, come and see what is happening here. How can we bring these refineries back? People have been on salaries working in those refineries, and they've not refined a single crude in years. Guess what? Those refineries were built by the military. We've not had any one of them, and those people are getting promoted. They're writing promotion exams. They're going on leave. They're becoming permanent secretaries. They are taking millions as their retirement benefits, but they're working in a space that is not functional. So I've been wondering, why are we struggling with fixing our own refinery? But well, there's a lot to talk about on the show today. This time last year, we're having a review of the just concluded all-circle elections in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa. As the election happened on the 11th of November 2023. Today is the 13th of November, and in a few days' time, the attention would also shift to Ondo State, where the people of Ondo State, the Sunshine State, the people with about 5.2 million registered voters, would have to make the choice on who governs them. Is it going to be the incumbent governor, the APC Lucky Aiyedatiwa, or is it going to be the former deputy governor under the APC that is now the flag bearer of the PDP in Agboola Ajayi, or is it going to be Hakeem Mimiko, the younger brother of the former governor of the state Olusegun Mimiko, that is running on the platform of the Zenith Labour Party, or is it going to be Ebisheni, the former commissioner for justice in the state, that is running on the platform of the Labour Party? There's just a whole lot of conversation around the Ondo election. We'll focus on it today. Of course, there is the newly sworn in governor and deputy governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo, now His Excellency Governor Monday Okpebholo. Remember, the 26th of September was the governorship election in the state as well. We'll talk about that on the show today. We'll set the agenda for them in Edo State. What exactly do they need to do on the long run, on the short fix? The governor had announced the indefinite suspension of all levies and taxes in the state upon getting sworn in yesterday. That's a major step, because that's one of the things that a lot of people have been complaining about. We'll talk about that on the show today. And of course, the visit of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the special assistant on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, had come out to release a statement in that regard. So we have it bumper for you on the show today. And we can't do all of that without giving you sound bites. So beyond what we're analyzing that these people have said, you would also hear it from their mouth. So it's my pleasure to have you join us today. Victor is here, as sharp, as excited as always. It's a new Wednesday, and I'm excited to get to do this with you again this week, Victor.
Absolutely, Okoyemi. Good afternoon to everyone listening to us. Of course, this is Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Victor Achibong, and I must say, Okoyemi, you're not looking bad yourself. Well, this morning
is still early now.
My brother, let me give you the compliment. The way you told the world that I'm looking sharp, you're also looking good. But you see, I was having a conversation with someone this morning that's concerning the oil, the refinery. He works somewhere in Warri. You know what he said? Okay, he said, Victor, if I tell you things that I see with my eyes, you will shed tears. We've been having this story of shedding tears now. And there are some things you cannot even say on radio. So it goes to show that indeed, if the refineries in this country want to work, there are people who are there saying it's not going to work. Why? The government understands the importance of it. And they know that if it starts to work, then we'll have a lot of things going for us. But why it's not working, I cannot tell. I don't understand. Well, we have Dangote refinery out there. And like you said, even an entire country, the government can say one man go build, and he builds. Why are we having issues with him? Why is he still having issues with the regulatory body? It's something that so many persons still find very difficult, very hard to swallow. Okay, coming to Ondo State, I think, like I will always say, the people in any states, be it Ondo or Edo, that had their own some 2 months ago, and right now they have a governor. Now, you all need to decide. All the people need to decide who is going to lead them. Is it the deputy? He's the governor now, because one time he was a deputy to Governor Rotimi Aiyedatiwa, who of course is dead now. But then the question is, Akeredolu, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sorry for that. But the question is, are they still happy with the situation of things in the country? Do they really want change in this country? There is something Said will always say, that as much as we try to analyze certain issues here and make people understand how politics and electioneering activities run in this country, until we desire the much needed change, we will not get anything different. The electoral reform is what everyone has been talking about. But it goes to show that some political parties do not understand the way these things run, or maybe they are in sync with the way it is. They just want it to be like that. I'm not kind of making a statement for anyone, but the people of Ondo understand where it pinches, because they are the ones wearing the shoe as we speak. And on Saturday is the D-Day for them. So if they want to continue, it's all their decision to make. If they want a change in the state, it's all that decision to make. It's the sunshine state, and for the sun to shine, it means that for the next 4 years, everybody needs to make the right decision.
You know, I'm followed. By the way, the vice president, VP Kashim Shettima, just arrived at Akure a few minutes ago for the Ondo State governorship election. It's been a full house all through the last 1 week. The national chairman of the APC, Alhaji Abdullahi Ganduje, had been in Ondo State. Combing the length and breadth of all of the 18 local government, campaigning for the candidate of the APC.
It needs all the support.
And of course, there's been governors as well of the PDP. There's been Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State. There's been Governor Adeleke of Osun State as well. They've been in the state, just to support and mobilize for the candidate of the PDP that happened to be the former deputy governor. In fact, the current governor became governor after the death of his principal, Arákùnrin Rotimi Akeredolu SAN, when he died. Lucky Aiyedatiwa became the governor. But Lucky Aiyedatiwa was not Akeredolu's deputy during Akeredolu's first term.
True.
Guess who was Akeredolu's deputy?
He's contesting
Agbola
as well.
Ajayi is now the candidate of the platform of the PDP. You know, politics has its own twist, and sometimes you can enjoy it when you are seeing it from the outside. It gives you a neutral mindset to analyze things and probably make your projections.
Yeah.
But when you're inside the system, it becomes a bit complicated. You wonder, oh, this person is here, this person was here, this person is here. I mean, it's interesting, by the way. But
I think for a lot of persons who understands what's what they really need, I don't think they need to go with the music or the song being played right now. This is what I'm trying to say, Okoyemi. This is what I'm trying to say.
Victor, just your line of thought. Count me out.
This is what I'm trying to say. Float along with me. Okay. When it comes to the choice of who leads me for the next 4 years, I think you need to ask your conscience that question. It's not about the number of persons that troops into the state. Yes, you wrote out the names of big wigs in the political terrain. It's good, because at every time there's election, you get to see all of these persons. And why are they there? Just to canvass for your support. But then, like I said, you know exactly where it pinches you. You know how important it is for you, for your children, for the happiness of your state for the next 4 years. So it is only but important that anyone in that state right now should begin to think right and think well. Let's not forget something, that a lot of political bigots are also saying that do not sell your votes. Don't allow all these persons coming into your state, telling you this one,
Victor,
flashing things before you, letting you see all of these things.
Victor,
don't sell your votes.
Any political bigwig that tells you not to sell your votes is also probably having lesser money to pay you to buy the same votes.
So are we now saying that we have to always make our election
Don't get me wrong.
a thing of money?
Don't get me wrong. I'm a realist.
Okay.
Sometimes idealism works, but more often than not, I like to be as real as I can be. I've been privileged. I think it's a rare privilege to cover election in this country at different times. Primaries of political parties, conventions of political parties, elections proper, by-elections, run. I've had that privilege. And I can tell you for a fact that where we are right now, we have an extremely politicized electionary process where nobody, and read it very clearly here, Victor, nobody is ready to get involved in any election conversation without asking, what are you bringing on board? You want to go visit the religious leaders, you have to go bearing something. I'm coming, Victor.
But does that make it right?
No. It's not about what is right or what is wrong. It is about the reality of what we are living with.
And how did we find ourselves in this position?
Exactly. That's the same reason we are not going to live here overnight. It's going to be a collective effort. It's going to be an intentional decision to say, you know what, we need to change the face of how we conduct elections in Nigeria. You're going to see traditional rulers, you go bearing gifts. You're going to see interest group, youth groups, you go bearing gifts. You want to host town hall meeting to ask for the problems they want you to go and solve. You will still give them money to attend that town hall meeting. I'm coming to ask for what you want me to do for you. I'll still pay you for you to come and tell me what you want me to go and do for you.
And that's a major problem we have in our hand. It is a major problem. But so, like I said, on my own part, I feel that because we need to start changing the narrative,
exactly,
which is very, very important. We are looking at the situation whereby if we do not take charge, if people who have the right to vote don't take charge as regards their future, as regards their conscience, we'll still be in this quagmire. And unfortunately, like you said, is the reality, but then it needs to be changed. It needs to be stopped.
It needs to be changed. And it being changed begins with conversations like these that we're having. We continue to play our part as a media, especially as we continue to ask for genuine reforms in our electoral laws. See, whether you like it or not, we're not floating in this country. We have a document that is binding on everybody, from the president to the last person in this country, and that is the Constitution.
True.
Unfortunately, the Constitution, whether it is guiding enough, whether it is well placed, because I mean, it's a contradiction when you have a democracy that is being governed by a constitution handed over by a military. It's a contradiction on its own. But then there are a lot of contradictions you get to enjoy for being in Nigeria. Welcome to the show. Said Fad also joins us today, and Said Fad, the VP had arrived on those states for the governorship election. Yes, and in the last maybe 10 days or thereabouts, the national chairman of the APC, Alhaji Abdullahi Ganduje, have been resident in Ondo State, following Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa to campaign, cover the nooks and crannies. The governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is the chairman of the Ondo Election Campaign Council. All of them have been moving in, to support. They were in Edo for His Excellency Monday Okpebholo swearing in. And of course, because of the proximity of the state, okay, let's just celebrate, let's come back to work. Side forward, it's another process where the people of the state will go to the polls. That is the tradition.
This is a demonstration.
But they have a choice to make, just like Victor had said at the start of the show, to consolidate on whatever it is they think Lucky Aiyedatiwa is doing, to have a new breath, if at all, with Agbola Ajayi,
or any of
to either look like Olushola Ibisheni or to look like Hakeem Mimiko. I'm just giving out some of the candidates that I have, in my head. But the truth is this: what are you expecting on Saturday from Ondo States? I would read the statement of Atiku, IPAC and all of that, but from your own observation, what are we expecting in Ondo State? This is the 5th off-cycle elections we're having in a year. We have 3 about this time last year: Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa. On the 11th of November, we had one on the 26th of September in Edo State, and now we're having that. So this is the 5th in 1 year, but it looks like it's a tradition that had always gone the same way. What are you projecting for Ondo on Saturday?
Well, my projection. I don't see anything different completely from what we saw in Edo State.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
Of course, the federal might is evident with the number of political bigwigs we have already in Edo State. In fact, one of the reports is saying that all the hotels have been fully booked in Akure as we speak, and that you can hardly find any free hotel accommodation. At least when we talk about hotel, we are talking of hotel that politicians can
5-star,
not 5-star, not 5-star, but at least
little comfort,
mega class.
So and that should tell you that look, it's going to be a battle of the politicians with the deepest pockets. I foresee money playing a big role in who would be emerging as governor in Ondo State. Already the reports have told us that ordinary people of Ondo State cannot even get cash off the counter in banks. Some of the reports have told us that sometimes there are withdrawals of up to 300 million naira in cash every day. So that should tell you what would happen on Saturday. I asked this same question when the election in Edo was conducted. why would governor of Lagos State, for example, and other governors of the APC leave their state to sit down in the state? What role would they be playing during the elections?
Mobilize and
encourage the campaign. Is the campaign not supposed to be the mobilization?
Yes.
So
that's sitting down, leaving their states to go resident there, the chairman of the APC, everybody sitting down, locking it down.
Did you not see, even before INEC made an official announcement of the Edo election, did you not see how many governors, senators were in that room? The situation
what exactly,
PDP?
do you understand? What exactly are they doing in that situation? Why did they have to leave their states to go resident, sit down there, lock it down? Okay.
They had to lock it down for Lucky.
I'm not talking. Even before Lucky, there was a particular money that they locked it down for. Who is now the governor of Edo State?
And that's their job, to lock it down, to make sure that
with their personal
support, physical support
to the governor. So what would the moral support bring?
The monitor situation. There are situation rooms created.
So what are they monitoring?
The numbers that are coming in, IREV numbers and situation room from their field officers. I'm telling the devil's advocate. I don't know where side card is going to. And I'm not going to get that thing from my mouth.
Because at the end of the day, this is supposed to be an election that the people of the state are supposed to cast their vote to choose a governor of their choice. And by the time you begin to have a perception of, oh, these governors are coming in, this one is coming in, everybody's coming in, it just shows you that, look, we are not really ready to have a free, fair, transparent process. Whether we like it or not, Okoyemi, we are going to see a situation where vote buying will be the order of the day. Let's be very realistic with ourselves. I was joking with Sandra earlier this morning, and I'm surprised that I'm still going to put the question to Olaleko on it. I think it was in the situation room on Friday, and he predicted Aiyedatiwa, and I've been seeing him that he has been posting, he's been supporting Aiyedatiwa. But I remember when the APC primaries were held. He
was the spokesperson of Honorable Akitewa, the former commissioner for finance in the state.
And you see, you can remember the way they were banging their heads.
Look at that. We are bringing up the certificate issue. We'll go to court, we'll challenge.
Have you noticed that?
Akitewa is part of the campaign council now.
So what has changed?
They've closed ranks. His family business.
How did they close it?
They're on the dining table, so they have table manners.
Everybody has sorted. Yeah. Where is Jimoh Ibrahim in this conversation?
He's floating. His senatorial district don't have electricity now for like 11 years. So
that does not matter to me. But what I'm saying is that, is he still in court? You remember he was...
No. They've dropped all court.
So everybody's fine.
Everybody's at home now. We saw the same thing played out in the state. So that is why you need those governors to be there side for.
So at the end of the day, look at the rank of the APC. It looks well coordinated. They look very united. Closed. All the the bitter rhetoric that we saw just after the primaries have all ended.
Let's get the cow first. Then we can talk about what part of the beef you want.
So why is it that the APC can have a conversation of let's get the cow first before we start talking of sharing, or let us share in this kind of gentleman agreement. This one will get this one. This one. I was telling someone, it's in the sharing that you saw those early appointments in Edo State. It's part of the sharing that on the table where you are going to share, there are some that will first pick.
You don't share for those ones. Those ones are picked.
So whatever is left announcement is to tell you that look, there are big. Just like when you have your elder brother and they share food. In those days you pick first. This
it depends though.
So because
the last of the family is the last.
You can't I've seen people saying, oh, I think it was Mr. Joe Igboku. I saw his Facebook post that why are people complaining that son. We are talking about perception management here, and what is the perception? Why did you hurry to announce the man's son as commissioner for health? What's the emergency?
The commissioner for health. Why you had SSG and the next thing is
Trump has been making appointments even before swearing him in, but you see that most of his appointments are strategic appointments.
Yes.
defense.
Nothing operational yet.
And I understand why defense has to come very early.
Of course.
America would not joke.
They can't leave vacuum for the second.
For in those critical places. But if you are announcing 3 appointments,
SSG, Attorney General,
and then
Commissioner of
is
Health,
coming,
is perception.
This
and
is
it has
a
to be the
demonstration
son.
of Wirecast.
It will still have come anyways.
Yeah.
But why that
Now?
You see, and the reason why we run into trouble with our democracy is that we are people that just like to live in denial. We see a problem, we see how bad the situation will get. We choose how that's how Rivers State started.
Yes.
We knew the early signals were there that Fubara and Wiki were not going to last. That relationship was going to get frosty. In the manner, for example, at which Wiki chose everybody for him.
Even a chief security
You would have known that this was going to
This is a
lead into trouble. This was
demonstration of
going
Wirecast.
nowhere.
It's chaos in waiting.
He kills in waiting. But people glossed over. They said it didn't matter. He helped him. People are now defining loyalty. People are now using stupidity to define loyalty. That's what I see in the political space now. I see the megalomaniacs of these politicians who are now defining the concept of loyalty. Okay. Loyalty does not mean you have to be stupid. Because in loyalty, both the godfather and the godson must have some level of
This is a
sanity.
demonstration of
Because
Wirecast.
if godson godfather relationship is going to break down, sometimes the forecourt can be from the godfather.
Most times.
And most times, you see,
You too do.
you to do something. Even if you have animals, okay, animals are
the world.
They will come back. But you can get the loyalty of your goat
Without being overbearing.
it depends on how you tender the goat.
We see it play out a lot of times.
No, I remember when Fashola was
Whispering.
may our loyalty
This
not
is a
be tested.
demonstration of Wirecast.
And I'm sure that test of Fashola's loyalty that he was talking about, I'm sure at some point
Loyalty should cut.
if you talk to that point,
You should cut.
so you see when I see people now bringing loyalty to the table and defining it as if you have to be stupid, and then they think that anytime there's a problem with loyalty, it has to be the godson that is. Sometimes you have godfathers who are completely responsible. They can't even understand and handle what it takes to be a godfather. They don't know when to start and stop.
To pull back.
I want to pull back. So it really descends into chaos and crisis. So what I'm saying is that look, with that audit appointment, and take this to the bank of me, I make my prediction. If Ebe is not careful with the 2 individuals, the vice president is already talking about the return of the godfather.
We'll talk about that. Definitely.
So, but let us, although I expect that look, it's not going to be completely different from what we saw
Of Wirecast.
in Edo State. Money is going to play a big role with the level that our politicians have weaponized poverty. People are going to sell their votes. In fact, they will be the ones offering their votes for sale. And at the end of the day, it's going to be whoever is able to deploy the most financial resources.
And on those they always have a way of bringing in slogans during election.
Yeah.
And slogans is not exactly maybe from campaign slogans like the Miloko, whatever.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
Last election, on those they came up with the Diboko Sebe. In short, they specified the kind of soup that you cook. And I covered the Ondo election last time out. And on Monday, when I was going back to base, a friend of mine was taking me to to the airport, and then we passed through the very popular Olukayode phone market. And I saw a lot of people, and I was like, is this place already? My guy said, I know that is the fallout of the election they just concluded. We drove down a bit, the very popular Ojaba market. I was like, he said, that the only time I will see this crowd again is when they've conducted another election.
So
Interpret that however way you want to interpret.
Are they counting the votes there?
I mean, people have made a lot of money. They go to the
This is a demonstration of Wirecast. This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Would have won. That's what I'm saying. And I think we should understand why we make these predictions and permutations, because when it comes to permutations and predictions, you look at your own local peculiarities. It is not the ideal, or you are not looking at morality now.
I'm looking at what is on ground.
Look at the number of governors who have left their states to go lock it down. And let me tell you, what you also see the kind of strength that the APC pushes forward when these off-cycle elections are being held.
Do you wonder?
Is geared towards 2027.
Absolutely.
I think we need to understand that. Look,
even the national chairman has said it. They will capture as much as they, because they said
the plan is to have most states on lockdown, so that by 2027
to be easy peace.
Because again, the belief is that the more governors you have, the easier to deploy resources. They can deploy human and material resources to lock the state down for you. So the idea of locking the states down, winning it to the APC, is all about 2027. So it's also indicative of the nature and the thinking of the kind of president we have. Okay, the last president we had before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Muhammadu Buhari, was a self-preservationist. Okay, off-cycle elections, he will not even bother. Although sometimes in fact, you know that it's as if they drag you to those states to go and campaign for the party standing. And by the time he gets there, he will say talk. When it comes to how the elections are held, the man don't care. And it's also very quick to congratulate the winner. Whether it's from his party or not. I can't look at how Oshun.
It's handing over party of PDP to PDP governorship candidates and APC president. So remember Oshun.
Look at how Oshun went. Before you know about them can go and to say, but I don't think we have that situation now. What we have now is a president who is heavily invested in the politics of his party. In his desire to ensure that APC needs more states, who is also ready to play the politics the way we play to ensure that whatever happens, the party is intact. And that's why you can see that anytime there's a crisis within the party, they quickly resolve it. That's also one of the things you have to give to the president, because he's the leader of the party now. How quickly they are able to resolve their crisis. And when they are quick to resolve their own crisis, look at the other side. They keep on mentioning themselves in crisis. And so when some of us predict that the only way the opposition would have a decent showing is for one, for them to drop their personal interests and work together as a party, and then two, for us to have a complete reform in the electoral process. If not, I think it's still going to be an easy path to victory for the opposition.
People will take us the Odo story, and we'll have quite a lot of soundbite on that. But let me quickly read the statement of IPAC, that's Inter-Party Advisory Council. Ahead of the Saturday governorship election in Ondo State, former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and the National Chairman of IPAC, Yusuf Dantani, advised INEC and security agencies to be impartial and neutral in conducting the election of Ondo State. The advisor to the former Vice President on the media, Paul Ibe, appealed to the people of the state to come out in large numbers to cast their ballot and make sure that their votes would count. A state, and I quote, this is also a sound warning to all election management officers and volunteers, and the PDP will stand against any malpractice in the Ondo governorship election. When the tide is high, it becomes too big to read. The people of the state are known for their forthrightness, and this particular election calls for external vigilance. The governorship election that is coming up in Ondo State this Saturday presents an opportunity for the people of the state to elevate the condition of the state into increased prosperity. And of course, that's the position of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and IPAC, and also caution candidates against vote buying. The chairman of IPAC, Dantani, says that to INEC and security agencies, we appeal to you to remain neutral and impartial. They should ensure a level playing field for all political parties and candidates. Your roles are critical in maintaining the trust and confidence of the electorate. We need to see the neutrality of the respective institutions to promote our nascent democracy. Side forward, that is the position of IPAC. and also the position of Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the last presidential election. But it looks like the drum of war that we were hearing during the Odo election is not exactly coming up in Ondo State. Although there were security summits held over and over again, there were peace accords signed, the heavy deployment of police officers. Ondo State is not going to have up to the number of those guards. But above all, why do you think the election in Ondo State will be won or lost? Putting into consideration the incumbent power and the fact that both of the leading candidates are from the same senatorial district, they are from the same zone of the state, they are from the same House of Representatives seats. So, and they are both former deputy governors. They took over from each other. We put it into consideration. And then also look at all of the people that have declined from the APC, from the PDP to the APC. Even governorship aspirants in the primaries have moved to the PDP to the APC. Quickly, why Victor prepare well for Edo? Why do you think the election will be won or lost?
Well, I think that now that we have agreed that the way we are and how badly we are running our electoral process does not really give the people a real chance when it comes to how elections are held. And when I say a real chance, it's either we are able to induce the people to vote, and the indication that a lot of the people that vote during elections in Nigeria are either induced or maybe just party members who would vote irrespective of what happens. It's also the reason why we also have poor numbers. Look at Edo State, the number of registered voters, the number of voters that came out on election day. If you look at the margin, you understand that it's shown that a lot of people don't really trust the process, so they rather just stay away.
Edo has 2.620 million registered voters. That means 2,620,000 registered voters. 611,000 came out for accreditation. Okay. And 6,000 only came out to vote.
2 million.
So out of the 606,000, about 3,173 votes were invalid. So that means less than about 2 million people did not even get involved in the election, and they didn't even come out. About 2 million
and they were registered voters who were eligible to vote, who registered.
They collected their PVCs.
So if you have 2.6 million people and just about 600,000 participated in the process, so 2 million stayed away. What does that tell you? It just goes to show that, look, when we register, there are people who collect the PVC as a form of identity card.
You keep being harassed.
If there's no valid ID card, they just want to have it for the sake of having it.
It's always about the most valuable ID.
So it's not to really participate in the process, because over the years, Nigerians have lost confidence in the entire electoral process. They've seen people who have made efforts, who think that by their efforts on the day of election things will change, only for them to see results that beat their imagination. Until today, nobody has been able to unravel the mystery of how number 4 became number 1 in an election. Even the courts have not been able to explain it. How number 4 in an election became number 1. So when you have situations like that, I don't know how many registered voters we have in Ondo.
For Ondo, according to INEC, on the 6th of October 2024, the commission disclosed that 2,053,061 registered voters will participate in the forthcoming governorship election in the state. 2,053,061 registered voters. Over 2 million. So we're going inside for it.
I can tell you that less than 500,000 will participate with votes on election day. The two results.
So the number now is 2,053,000 somewhere. So by Monday or by Tuesday, when we eventually get the final number, we'll now add it and see whether we do more than 500,000.
So at the end of the day, it just goes to show that, look, I think our politicians already understand their way around the entire electoral process. It is either you the WဃÇoᴜnSAᴘ, like you have said, which is just go out there, buy people's votes, induce them, and because at the end of the day, that's why you have this effort, this strength, this show of strength and whatever. It's not about anything. Let's just say the way it is. So I don't. It's tough for me to make this prediction, but I think it's an Aïdàtúwà thing. Really, the election is there for him to just win. Really.
Sorry.
Okay.
Please let me just read this. It's a piece that was published on Premium Times a few days ago.
Yes.
And it says the factors likely to shape Saturday's governorship election. This was published yesterday, and I'll just read through them. The first is said the effect of the zoning. The second of the factor is projected voting outcomes, which side for just raised right now. The Jimoh Ibrahim factor.
Okay.
The Akétì factor. Akétì is the former governor. There are reports that the camp of Akétì are not in support of Lọ́kì Aïdàtúwà. The camp of Akétì wanted Akintola. That's the principal of
so the person they want is not working for the person they want.
One Akintola.
You don't understand what I'm saying.
Exactly.
The person they want is not working for the person they want. So it's not a wasted effort.
Then it said vote trading had already started, and it said security as well, and the neutrality of the people that party. Victor, lead us into that real quick.
Okay, before we go into that of Edo State, I wanted to ask a question still with this Ondo State. Now, let's not forget IPAC made a call as well as Atiku, and it's about INEC being impartial, INEC being neutral. Said, you will agree with us that previous elections, from the general election to the off-cycle election, I've seen oppositions going to the courts, and because they are not happy with the outcome of the election. So with that call being made by the Inter-Party Advisory Council National Chairman Yusuf Dantale, as well as Atiku Abubakar, the former presidential candidate of the PDP, asking INEC to be neutral, how important is that call to INEC with this forthcoming election? Of course, let's not forget that we have other elections that will be coming after this one. So how important is that call to INEC itself?
It's a call of idealism. It's like making a call based on what is ideal. The ideal thing. Or is it a realistic call? You understand? It's a call that is based on, this is supposed to be the ideal thing. This is supposed to be the right thing to do. But based on all of the things we've been saying, based on even the cries of the opposition about the REC, the partisanship with the situation of the REC, she has been accused of being too partisan, they want her removed, and the fact that a lot of the INEC election officers are said to be card-carrying members of the ruling party, of the opposition party. Although you might say it's all, the opposition just raising unnecessary dust. Okay, I have said to anybody that cares to listen, if I'm a politician, I won't participate in this electoral process. Unless I also want to just test my luck and see whether the robbery electoral process will favor me. But if you don't have money to waste, it's just what it is, Victor. It's just what it is. People who are measuring you, and if you look at Aïdàtúwà, you know what I'm saying. Aïdàtúwà is not able to bring everybody in.
The same Aïdàtúwà that fought for his political survival.
Everybody, I was able to do that. He has been good, quote unquote, the good boy of the politics now. He's the good boy of the state now. Everybody, the boy is good. And what do you mean by the boy is good in politics? He's able to touch everybody, carry everybody along. The point when they say they are carrying people along, you know what it means? That means everybody's able to sit in the table, negotiate. Like you said, whether before the car comes or after the car, the sharing has been done, gentleman agreement. I'm sure some of these agreements ratified at the national level. So even the man at the center of it all cannot misbehave. So it was okay if we that. Remember when the president told us to show it? Adams, are we ready?
We saw the consequence. We saw the report of the result of that question.
He said, "Are we good to go?" He said, "We are good to go, sir."
Go.
And we saw the result of that. So, but again, let's see what would happen in those things. I think there's nothing new that will happen. Yes, the former VP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, will say what he's saying. It's just, let me also put my voice. Let me say that I said something. But they know. let us even ask ourselves, how many governors of the PDP are in Ondo State now to support the candidate of the party? How many of them are in that state now to give that, support? Remember that in Ondo State there were only 2 of them that stayed back with the governor. That was the governor of Taraba State
and the one of Adamawa was the chairman of the campaign council.
And those were the only 2. So when PDP lost in Ondo State, you could see a confused Obaseki. We looked left and center. But on the other side, you could see the mobilization. It was almost like the mandate of the president. Go there and deliver. I think that's what we're also working on in Ondo State. In Ondo State. And I think that they will deliver.
Well, that is it, Victor. Let's quickly get into the neighboring states.
Yes, those states is in fact is the happening state right now, because just yesterday the inaugural ceremony of the just elected governor of the state, Monday Ogbebolo, as well as his deputy Dennis Idahosa, took place. And in his inaugural speech he said that they are bent on delivering the dividend of democracy. In fact, he promised that the people are going to enjoy more because he's going to prioritize the citizens' welfare. He's going to ensure that when it comes to their security, they take it to heart and they give them everything as regards security, because they want to make sure that people goes back to the farm, or people go back to the farm. He even mentioned infrastructure due to the state of the road, how dilapidated they have all become, and it's making it very, very difficult for people to move from places to places in Edo State. So he said a whole lot of things. But let's not forget that during his agenda, or rather his campaign speech, his 5-point agenda is that he has promised that they will look into education, they will look into agriculture, they will look into security, they will look into infrastructural development, and they will also look into water production. But before we go into all of setting agenda, what will be the short-term or the short-term agenda, the long-term agenda, Philip Shuaibu is also in the picture, because just yesterday we was an interview and he said he has been dancing. And how can we forget the part of the vice president, Kashim Shettima? He made a statement that the Godfather is back. We listen to the sound bites.
Let's quickly run through that. You probably want to look at Philip Shuaibu and say, you know what? If anyone wants to look at the winners and the losers of the election, then whether he delivers or does not deliver, Philip Shuaibu had played a safe game again. Because
he said he's the happiest.
If the APC had lost a election,
interesting,
Philip Shuaibu's political career may be hanging by the thread somewhere.
What's the end game for him now? Okay.
I mean, he said he's handing over. Yesterday when he was giving his speech, the flag of APC was behind him, not the flag of the PDP.
What he has done is what they call Ote. I'll be the spoiler and we played it where
isn't that the background of the conversation?
But the question is I will know this with our politicians and Victor. Now, what will be his relationship with the APC now? Because what they will be thinking in their minds is that, look, if not that you have a frustrating relationship with your principal, the governor, will not be back with us.
This is you talking like someone that will not participate according to what you said in an election under this our electoral calculation. The people you are referring to don't care. Just when you come back on board, nobody cares about what you do.
What do you think they will be giving him now? What do you think is innate for him now?
Sometimes you don't know these bad games.
Okay, well,
when you now wake up and you say it's been made an ambassador nominee.
Whatever he gets or doesn't get, it will be better than the way he was harassed.
Exactly, he was the outskirts of stars.
At least he's been able to get his honor back to a great extent. That's against what the former government was.
So let's listen to Comrade Philip Shuaibu. We listen to him. I will also listen to the Vice President, VP Kashim Shettima, on the issue of godfatherism or no God. Wow, Victor, this is on you. So the plus or minus of this insert is on you, Victor. You're live from Milan 98.3 FM. It is midweek politics. I'm kind of enjoying the feel of the program today, by the way. But we always get to do this every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. It is hardcore politics. And of course, in between that, we'll give you sound bites so that you'll have an idea of what we're talking about on the show today. The side forward here, there's Victor Achibong, and of course, my name is Oᴏᴜᴜ Aken. In case you're just meeting me for the first time, take a listen to this sound bite. When we come back, we'll sink our teeth into this. We'll also go to the last issue today, Mr. Biden press release on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's recent visit out of the country. By the way, he's back in the country. I will talk about all of that when we come back.
Mainland 98.3 ahead. Don't touch the dial. 98.3 ahead. Don't touch the dial.
I am one of those that was a very young guy that were part of the formation of APC. I started from ACD, APC, and because of loyalty, I went with my governor to PDP. Not because I want to go to PDP. I said that, and I was quoted by the national body of PDP when I said in one of the PDP meetings that I am not in PDP because I want to be in PDP. I'm in PDP because of my loyalty to my governor. And when I returned because of him, I left APC, and because of him, I returned to APC. So my excitement in that God has also used him for me to be able to reunite with my father, which because of him I had quarrel with Comrade Moshimole and a lot of my other followers. Like I've never stopped saying it, and I was never ashamed to say that fight cost me up to 20% of my original supporters. But I can tell you, my fight back, I've gained that 20% back, and I've gotten more. You know, the legacy coalition, where we returned to APC. When we came to PDP, it was just APC that left to join PDP. But when I was returning back to APC, those that I met in PDP, the origin of PDP, joined me to return to APC. So in a nutshell, APC has benefited from my even going to PDP. So I'm happy that I came in as APC. I am handing over again as APC. So to God be the glory. I feel like putting my dancing shoes. A lot of lessons, like I was saying, a lot of lessons have been learned. You see, I just finished Mass, the last Mass, as deputy governor, because when I became deputy governor, I started with Mass in a chapel. Just now, we just finished the last Mass, and I bid everybody farewell as a Catholic. And I realized that, you see, God have told all of us to go and multiply. God told all of us to go and win souls. When somebody say, go to hell, go to hell, go to hell, everybody go to hell, and only you want to go to heaven, God will not even grant you the heaven, because God asks you to go and win soul. So if only you are coming, you will be lonely in heaven. That's what has happened to Obaseki today. He's going to be lonely, and God will not even grant him heaven because he has not fulfilled the commandment of God to go and win souls to heaven. Instead, he sends everybody to hell. You know, so it's a lesson that I have also learned, and I pray that I survive the loneliness. That is the truth. But today is not a day to cast aspersion. Today, like I said, I want to just have a lot of dancing party. I just finished that of church now. The next one is the social one. So I'm happy. I'm happy that I've ended well. I'm strong. I'm also happy that I'm able to be part of those that brought government back to APC. Yeah, we took APC out of government house, and I'm also part of those that returned APC to government house. So I fulfill my own task and I'm happy.
Most especially the return of the Godfather, distinguished Senator Adams Ali Oshomole. Senate, today we gather to celebrate democracy in its truest form. This atmosphere of joy and hope resonates with the voice of the people. This joyful cheer, this resounding call for a brighter tomorrow is what democracy sounds like. This gathering is proudly sponsored by the will of the people, and no barrier is strong enough to stop the force of those who have chosen their leaders from amongst a multitude of options, especially those who have done so with commitment. We are here because you have spoken eloquently and decisively. You have pointed to the future you desire for this great state, and you have chosen the captains of this journey.
Is to bring normalcy and redecorate. It's more
The general elections in 2023 have created conversations and consequences that will live with us for years to come. From the executive to the judiciary, legislature, media, and the people, organized labor, and civil society organizations, issues that will continue to shape the future of our country needs continuous probing and interrogation.
I see the greater objective for the party, and let me tell you, I've told the PDP in some locations that gentlemen, be careful. Better men have founded party that have gone into oblivion. Where's the party of Awolowo? Where's the party of Azikwe? Where's PRP of Rimi? Political parties must be nurtured, they must be reinvented, they must be true.
Join ᴏᴜᴛᴏ and Said Fuad on Midweek Politics every Wednesday 1 to 3 p.m. on Mainland 98.3 FM for thought-provoking
He's very, very happy. And then also we played the soundbite of the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, when he said that the Godfather, Senator Adams Oshiomhole, is back. And we asked the question, Godfather? Where was the Godfather all this while? And are we saying that Godfather still exists and has a whole lot in our politics? Anyway, I'm going to leave all of this for Said Fuad to react to, because Said has always been keen on asking the question, where or what is the end game? And Philip Shoaibu just made us understand that his end game here for him is that he delivered Edo State to the APC and is very much happy with it. Said Fuad, you've heard the sound bites, and I'm pretty sure you want to say a lot of things right now.
Well, for Philip Shoaibu, I think the former governor, the middle part governor of Aseki, would ask himself to blame. You know, the relationship eventually went south. And it's a bit difficult to blame Philip Shoaibu, really, because, you know, in that sound I said that, look, because of loyalty to his governor, I went with him. And eventually I had to come back again because of him. And if you are talking about loyalty, it's about loyalty. I think first he should be loyal to Adams Oshiomhole. So unless he's saying that he had to make a choice to either be loyal to Adams Oshiomhole or go with Philip Shoaibu. Sorry, or go with Obaseki. And I think in going with Obaseki, he had expectations. And I think one of those expectations was that his feeling was that, look, I'm going to succeed this man. So, and you could see the way he approached the idea or the attempt to picking up the ticket of the PDP. He was so desperate about it, he wanted it, he was ready to give it all a fight, irrespective of what the interest of the governor was. At some point, he was trying to rub the ego of the governor, but I think the governor had made up his mind that it was going to be someone else. So his return to the APC is a conditioned return. It's not a return that happened because he wanted to really return. So if things were going well, he would not have returned. But when I thought of the fact that was, so that's why I was asking Okoya that, look, how will the APC now be receiving him? Yes, he said he was also part of how the APC that they pushed out of power was able to take power again. But they're going to be looking at him and say that, look, you guys, you only returned because it was not going on well with you on the other side. If everything had worked out for you, you would not be with us. And I know that one of the things that politicians are also used to doing is to be very, very careful with someone who had betrayed you in the past. If you understand what I'm saying. So the end game is not what he's saying. I think what he has said in that soundbite is to put what is going to be like the bargaining chip on the table.
I did this, I did state for the APC.
So he is saying that. But in the mind of the APC, Senator Monday Okpebholo, Senator Adams Oshiomhole, the deputy governor, the leaders of the party, will they be seeing Fᴜᴜᴜ as someone who really helped,
as an asset,
or who even helped during the election? Or somebody that they just say and say, well, you know, in politics, because with or without you, you could have still won the election. If you understand what I'm saying. So if they rated his effort as, look, with or without you, we still have delivered the state, he probably would have a problem getting anything going forward, because I think for politicians it's always about what is right, what is saying. So, but again, we need to see how the APC will react to what he was able to do for them. What value are they going to place on his efforts? That will determine his political future with the party. I've seen who have said that look, he's probably going to go to the National Assembly, or maybe at some point he could pick up a ministerial slot and all of that. But I know that politicians, there are a lot of people that will say that look, he left before, we didn't leave now. Abi? That he left before. That he returned because everything went bad there. But some, you know, there are people that will say that he returned as a deputy. Because one of the assembly members who suffered with Adams Oshiomhole, who were not allowed, former governor. Some of them lost everything. So those are the people that will say, Oga, before you did not leave Shuaibu, what of us? We didn't leave the party. We stayed with you during rain, during storm and everything.
Maybe so this is the case of the prodigal son. The one that left and came back.
What of the sons that never they are doing prodigal anything?
The ones who stayed didn't get, or the one that actually stayed. The one that left just
and that's the problem.
This is the case of
finished. So the people that stay will say, why would the man that left now be the one that complain? But the father said, the father said as a shepherd, if you have 100 sheep and one get missing, you will leave the 99 and go and look for that one that is missing. How intelligent is that? I don't know.
So even my father to say, but why are you complaining? Everything here belongs to you. But this particular brother of yours was lost. Now he's found. Who was celebrating? He's the money that when he took the prodigal money and they went to chill, the money had not finished.
And then the question is, do our politicians think like the people of the Bible? Do they think like that? When they sit down to do their thing, do they think along that line? I could see Fᴜᴜᴜ talking a lot about mass, getting very religious. But at the end of the day, we need to see what would the future would be for him really. I think he had thought that after becoming the deputy governor, the next thing was for him to become the governor. His desire to become governor now, I think, has become a bit more difficult. We are not going, we're just looking at the calculations, really, how things can change very fast. But I think what he will be trying to do now is to get very relevant now within the APC fold. He has said he had returned home. He's going to have to convince the leadership of the party to trust to want to give him any meaningful appointment going forward, because of course our politicians know that their relevance is always hinged on how well you're able to integrate yourself within the party. But again, there are people who have stayed through the 8 years of Godwin Obaseki, especially the last 4 years, where they suffered seriously because they refused to leave the APC, or they decided to work with Adams Oshiomhole. So now that Kashim Shettima is saying the return of the Godfather, they'll be telling the Godfather, look, we stayed with you. This is our time, and this is the time for you to compensate us for our loyalty, So, but again, Fᴜᴜᴜ going forward. But for the vice president to have on the podium again, created a scene that will probably put Adams Oshiomhole on the spot, especially when it comes to how the government is not able to deal with him. Because saying the return of the Godfather, we all know what Godfatherism is here in our politics. Well, we have to give it to Kashim Shettima. He's also a Godfather somewhere in the state, and we've not heard of any quarrel.
And every opportunity acknowledge his loyalty to
the VP, and they've been able to manage it. So again, maybe we should say there's nothing wrong in godfatherism, since it's now become the norm here. But I think it now depends on how the godfather behaves himself. I was telling Sandra earlier in the morning, a man that contested in the last election and won as a senator is not a pushover
at all.
It's not a Fubara, with all respect to
national chairman of the party.
So it's a
full-time governor of the same states.
I'm talking about even Senator Monday Okpebholo.
Okay.
Not even Madam Social. Okay. I'm also saying that he's also a well-grounded politician. Forget about what anybody will say. How he was even able to get the senatorial ticket, to win the senatorial ticket, to win the primaries of the party, despite all the odds, despite the fact that I was only wanted someone else.
Remember, it was the deputy governor, that actually won the primary that was conducted.
So how he was able to navigate his way to becoming the candidate of the party.
They said he's the zoning. They said Dennis Idahosa is not from the Edo Central.
Zoning or no zoning, he's not the only one from Edo Central. But he was able to, and the fact that in the last general elections, the 3 senatorial seats, 1 to 2 APC, 2 Labour Party, how he was able to win his own in a PDP contest, and with the sentiment of the Labour Party at that time that we're going to sweep everybody away, shows that look, this is a man that understands his politics. And so I think that if there will be peace between himself and the Godfather, much of how the peace will come will be dependent on how well the Godfather carries himself. If he overbehaves, if he does anything, I see that we're also going to have some crisis.
They said they're doing this in Lagos. I don't know about that.
Yes, I used to there. I live in that place. So.
I don't know about that.
You don't see any form of threats with that.
No, what I'm just saying is that if they behave themselves, if they're mature about it, they're able to resolve their issues. I just think that if Adams Oshomole and Okpebholo will live in peace, work in peace, and be happy with themselves and run the party without crisis, much of how that will happen will be on how Oshomole carries himself in this particular relationship.
Well, let me quickly slide this one in. A bit off the menu, but they say youth leaders of the APC have accused unnamed leaders and stalwarts of the party for being behind the persecution in courts of Yahaya Bello by the EFCC. APC youth in a statement said that Yahaya Bello was allegedly facing hostility from APC bigwigs for alleged politically motivated grounds. The youth from the 36 states of the country and the FCT under the aegis of the APC Youth Leaders Forum says it's worrisome that those who had contributed immensely towards the development of the party as well have helped in securing the presidency, which President Bola Tinubu enjoys today, have been singled out for persecution and undue harassment. In a statement jointly signed by the group's national president Alhaji Abdullahi Dambaba and its national secretary Dr. Chike Hedioha, AYLF, that's the APC Youth Leaders Forum, and some individuals are bent on bringing the party down over political permutations ahead of the 2027 election. Side forward, they are also going to say that the achievement of Yahaya Bello in Kogi is there for all to see. Within the period he was governor, and there have been many testimonies to that fact. Those that are using the EFCC against him have forgotten that there are people that the EFCC should actually go after if we have sanity in this country, and it has not been ignored. I think this conversation should change. The people coming up with this should be the ones that should check their sanity, not the ones they allege or perceive are going after Yahaya Bello. Side forward, are you surprised that it is coming in the face of all of these allegations actually? But I mean, 80 billion from a state like Kogi State, and some people are saying this is mere persecution.
Well, again, we are in a situation where you see things and you just shake your head. You wonder how we got to this level. This particular youth group in the APC, there are so many groups, and I think what I think the people of Yahaya Bello have been doing is to just throw those sentiments. Really, look, what is the big deal really with Yahaya Bello showing up at the EFCC, having his time during questioning and having his day in court to go defend himself? Go to court to go and prove that this is actually what? Persecution. Political persecution. It's not to come and be disturbing us with all these chop group just to arrange themselves. Okowa, right, is answering questions now.
Is there?
And that's the right thing to do.
That is very nice.
Well, we've seen people who have been persecuted in the past, who have been allegedly persecuted in the past, and they went to court. They didn't move. Some of them are free. Some of them still have their case pending.
Some are serving senators.
So all of these are people. You know groups, yeah. You know all these groups. You should know. Maybe somebody relevant. I'm sure if you are in that conference, you probably see people. There was time we were watching a particular group issuing statements too, and half of the people in that hall, they don't even know why they are there.
That was prior to the 2020 in Abuja. I had people that obviously they were picked up on the street. They didn't have an idea.
This one, I want to imagine.
That sat on the floor and
I know that they don't what they are saying. They don't even know. So you know that politicians, and I've still asked the question: why is Yahya Bello running? Why? Because everything that we've seen of how the EFCC has prosecuted corruption cases against former governors, against the political bigwigs, does not in any way, make it reasonable for Yahya to be running away. Where is he running to? Why is he running?
White lion.
You can call yourself anything. It's when challenges come that you know whether you are what you are coming to.
The lion that is the king of the jungle. When you set the jungle on fire, you know what.
But what we are saying now is these groups would always do these things, and politicians know how to get people together, mobilize people to raise these doors, raise these sentiments. But I think intelligent people will not buy this kind of ridiculous sentiment. You have a case before the EFCC, make yourself available, have your day in court, go to court to defend yourself and prove that I have no case to answer. They are only persecuting me.
I will not be surprised if a group comes out tomorrow and say that they want to defend Godwin Obaseki, because as he is right now, the stories are flying everywhere.
How does the defense of a group help your case?
So because these people are just looking for political
so what the group is saying is what the judge will work with.
When I saw that story, I was actually looking for a concrete reason they came out to write
it's political persecution. That's
they said a man that was part of the people that won the election, forgetting I was part of the primaries of the election. The same man that said the PDP government APC cannot choose for him.
Okay, I mean, even if he's in the opposition and worked against the interest of the current president,
it doesn't stop you from
still has to show us as long as they're in court. I was there to prove to the world that look, they have nothing against me. This is just my political persecution. I see that to be done in the court, not in the public space, and then begin to disturb us with some chop group.
Let's talk about the presidential address.
Victor, I wrap up the biology.
Please do.
The position of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu under the issue going on with Middle East is very clear. It feels like it's been long overdue, and that the people should find lasting solution to all of those issues. Well, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu actually is back to Nigeria, by the way, and according to the Gaza conflict, the president said it has lasted for too long, causing undeniable suffering, and it feels like that should come at an end. Meanwhile, the crown prince of Saudi, Salman, has supported the economic reforms of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I mean, who are we to say no? I'm sure they see what some of us are not seeing. Well, the special advisor to the president, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, on his verified Twitter account, has released a statement. And it says that the Saudi Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia, Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, has assured Nigeria of support in its economic reforms programs. It goes further to say that the Saudi Agriculture and Livestock Investment Company invested 1.2 billion in 2022 to acquire 35% stake in Olam Agri, and that's one of Nigeria's leading agricultural firms. Mr. Bayo Onanuga also further to explain that at the meeting with the Crown Prince, where the Saudi Minister of National Guard, Prince Abdullah bin Hamza bin Abdulaziz, the Minister of Defense, and others, pledge their loyalty and their renewed support to the president and the reforms that the president is carrying on. side for it. I understand PR, I understand perception, but where are we on this one?
Well, support of the Crown Prince for the president's reforms amount to nothing to me, really. Whatever reforms that we have now, at the end of the day, it's about the impact on the people. It's about how well it is impacting on the well-being of ordinary Nigerians. A lot of them who also voted for the president. So, there's what is called diplomacy, and a lot of times when it comes to diplomacy, you want to sound, you want to make your guests feel very good. You're not going to, at that point you want to say things that they want to hear. You want to put out statements, to make them very comfortable. Because again, we need to check and recheck what are the reforms you're talking about? You're taking away subsidy. Also, we're talking about floating of the currency, and I think we need to ask ourselves: is that the same reform? Is that how the economy of Saudi Arabia is run?
Was that how they reformed their own? Even
currently, is that the economic model that they run in Saudi Arabia? This idea of aggressive revenue drive. Another question we need to ask ourselves is: how well does the government of Saudi Arabia take care of its own people, the poor and vulnerable in their society? What benefits do the people of Saudi Arabia get from their God-given oil resources? How well does a Saudi Arabian live? Healthcare, education, security, infrastructure, the things that the people of Saudi Arabia enjoy, how comparable are those things to the situation of the poor and ordinary Nigerian when it comes to how our government attends to the needs and yearnings of the poor people at this time? So the Crown Prince can say whatever he wants to say, with all due respect, but I think that a lot of Nigerians actually have a different feeling as to how the government is handling these particular reforms. Apparently, we've said it severally. Nobody is saying that we should not reform. So long change is a constant thing. We always talk about reforms. In fact, if another government comes now, they also have to reform something, because evolution is reform in itself, and because human beings will continue to evolve, it means that reform is a continuous process. So it's not a new thing, because this reform is now sounding as if it's one magical thing. The reality is that, look, as human beings, we always have to check and recheck something. Trump, for now, is going to change a lot of things. Is that not reform? But at the end of the day, the impact on the people, how well the reform has impacted on the well-being of the people, is what will make the reform good or bad. Because at the end of the day, Victor, you check. A year ago, before this government came in, what was my living standard? How was I living? How was everything for me? What was the value if I have 50,000 naira?
That's a jamming question.
What was I doing with 50,000 at that time? What am I doing with 50,000 naira now? It's not about the 20 or the English that you speak that matters to people. It's about how their lives have been since the government came in with its reform. And if we are going to be living on, for now, it's going to be tough. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
The question is, for those that are preaching that to us, to those that are telling us that, what example are they showing for us to believe them? Because if we now agree that, don't worry, a year ago, you guys were doing so much with the little you have, but now things are tough because we are trying to reset and reform the country. And so it's going to be tough, it's going to be darkest before dawn. Right at the end of the day, all of that. Fine.
So you actually took the words out of my mouth.
Yes.
Now, if you remember also, when the vice president was addressing, was actually giving a speech at the inaugural ceremony in Edo State, he said, according to the president, that these economic hardship days are behind us.
For them or for us?
Well, he said it's behind us, referring to Nigerians generally.
So what people are feeling is what?
If he wants to do the count,
what people are still feeling is what?
I'm coming. If
he
wants to do the count, soft ship. When the president addressed us during the democracy day, he has been making that particular statement.
Wait now, they can make their.
So you took it out of my mouth.
What I'm saying is that we can't suddenly begin to pee in my face and tell me it's raining. We know what we feel, and people know what they feel. people know what they were and what they have now. So at the end of the day, we want to thank the Crown Prince for making our president feel very good.
Yes, exactly. He's a good host.
Well, that's what the IMF said. The IMF said.
Be fine. They will finish us. And the South African Nigeria is owing about 630,000 and 61 620,000 and 61 I was somebody asked that when I saw the story, somebody commented and I said, who ordered that for? There's a particular brand of drink that somebody said, when did he order for that? That he has to pay for the money. And I said, no, they just broke the debts that are. By the way, my friend is on the podium. That usual. The national youth leader of the All Progressive Congress, and that is the Ondo State APC mega rally in Accra as we speak for the November 16 governorship election. They are absolutely out there campaigning and trying to mobilize support for Lucky Olumusayida. That's the candidate of the All Progressive Congress. Interesting personality, by the way. Well, let's talk to you. How can somebody have 3 caps on his head, side forward? How can you even think straight when you have like how many thinking caps are you working with?
For that seat, anything is possible, so just don't worry about it.
Meanwhile, let's look at it's not fortunate for that. So you want my honest opinion on what you are seeing on TV. Oh, she knows so.
You said a lot.
Say it out.
I said a lot.
The question about having 3 caps on one head, you know what it means?
I don't know.
Everything is possible. For you to have 3 caps on one head, you should know that. Let's take the course.
The head is tired. Thank you so much for being on the show. Let's talk to you 0913-600-0410. It's a mega rally in Accra, by the way, and let's see how it goes. Everybody will come. And the funny thing about rallies like this is, if the APC, the PDP comes out tomorrow, the same value to do the same rally, the Crowley's Justice almost the same sort of people.
They will chop that.
Everybody is expectant.
Well, we've got loads of messages on Facebook. Let's see how many of them we can touch. Wow. 0913-600-0410. Let's make it as quick as possible. You're welcome to Mɪᴅ FM and good afternoon to you.
Hello.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. The 3 generals.
Good to have you join us.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. This is Samuel calling from Ikeja.
Okay. Mr. Samuel, it's my pleasure to have you.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I want to ask a question. Can the president and the spokesperson that are talking to us now, can they shave our head in our absence? I'm asking this question.
It's not possible, but you guys are
okay. So now, the question I'm asking again is that why is it that the spokesperson to the president is telling us what the Saudi prince has they told the president what he's saying about the economy of this country? Why is it that the buyer that is talking to us? Let them play the video or let them play the voice. Let us hear it. From him. You know, these people can cook so many things. You understand? They are now telling us now that they are trying to justify what is happening, what the president has brought to Nigeria now. Because they are trying to justify it. Yes. You can understand what the politician can do to the citizen. You understand? I don't understand. And for EFCC, or for what?
Yes, I'm with you.
You see, this EFCC chairman, until he resign, I will never take anything serious from him because he has made a vow that if he did not prosecute Yahya Bello, that he will resign. And Yahya Bello is yet to be prosecuted, and the man is still there as we have
the process is still ongoing.
No, there's nothing like process. And did Yahya Bello went to EFCC office, what stopped them not to arrest him? That's
thank you.
Not to arrest him.
Yes, he came with a sitting governor, and of course, you know how that could turn. Let's speak more calls that will go on our social media platforms. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome. You're welcome.
This
Mr. James from Agbada.
Good to have you.
What I listened to you analyzing about what is likely to take place in the state come Saturday when they do the election there. But what really came to my mind was when I remember what took place in Imo State. The people surrounded all the number of votes. And at the end of the day, people from their various world was bringing the result of all their parties, and it was completely different from what, So at the end of the day, they say go to court, and when you go to court will say the person that won is the person that actually his candidacy is recognized, and they stand. Now I begin to ask, what is in the back of our mind when we are talking about this election? Is these people boys like what American election here, the way everything went, that even the opposition was, accepted instantly because everything was transparent, nothing to drag or say I want to go to court. But here you will see where you are won and the result will be meeting in favor of the other person. And if you go to court, we say there is nothing they can do. There is a person that has won. And if we continue in this trajectory, and we are expecting to have good leaders, like now somebody was saying that that is telling us what we know and they can cook up. It's only when we start having good leaders, people that have interest to make Nigeria to work to be like Saudi Arabia, where they have list of mineral resources we have. That's when we have those people at the name of our faith. Then we begin to see people that will come and speak to pro-people policy and speak to defend the people. But because we see the process we have in the electoral act, that is why things are going this way, and there is nothing we can do about it. That's why we keep having this kind of people at the name of our faith. Thank you, dear. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, James, for joining us on the show today. 0913-600-0410. Hello, you're welcome.
Hello.
Good to have you join us.
This is Ola.
Okay.
Mr. Fuati, let me just give you the reason why the first person become the governor. The election was not cancelled from the polling unit. When we get to the collection center, the INEC cancelled it, and the electoral at that time, if the election is not cancelled from the polling unit, the electoral officer at the center cannot cancel it. That is why the first person become the governor in Imo State. That's it. But the issue people are talking about concern Ondo. I missed the opportunity to become the governor of Ondo State. Why did I say so? Inability to maintain the meekness and the humbleness in lockdown opportunity. And Ayyedatiwa is the secretary to the state government when he was suggesting to that time. And when Akeredolu wants to see the person and he said, the only person that I trust as the secretary to the state government, let him become the deputy governor and he take advantage of the law taking to where you belong. If you are in your life, as you people are working in that organization, what organization needs to do first? Commitment and the sincerity, and that openness and the meekness. The opportunity that are greater than where you are today is coming in the nearest future. How diligent you are working with it. The reason why I can never be a governor from those states. You have never had a solution to the people that are in authority and the people that are voting in. You just want to become a governor instantly without following due process. That is why you are already starting the trumpet of the law before the general election.
Thank you, Mr.
I feel like I can never be a governor in Ondo State. Other person will become a governor.
Never say never. As long as we're not God, a lot can actually happen. That's why we did it. Okay, good afternoon, guys. The issue with the former governor and Philip is that the former deputy is not from Edo South, that the ticket was zoned to, and that is where the problem came from. Political sin is not easily forgiven. When is Fashola, Fayemi, and Shola are moved in Tinubu's administration to the style from Abule Ba. Wow, okay. Benjamin from Shobula says, good afternoon, guys. To me, democracy in Nigeria is something else. If not, how can an elected government who is having a lot on desk leave to attend other states campaign with promises that they would not fulfill when they find themselves in power. I asked all the campaign promises of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu today, which one has he fulfilled? Our democracy needs to be defined. If not, I'm sorry for the country. Okay, this one says, good evening, good afternoon, guys. You're doing an amazing job. On the issue of the election of Ondo State, it's a one-way ticket. The APC will win the election and the PDP will cry foul. Whether we like it or not, election in Nigeria is as predictable as the day that will break tomorrow. You can almost be rest assured, except on rare cases, that a sitting governor will always win the election. Okay, thank you very much. But by the way, don't forget that we've had governors of 8 years that have failed to win senatorial election for their own self, even failed to install their own successor. We've seen that a lot of times.
I have an interesting message here.
Let's quickly this one.
Good afternoon.
Sorry, Victor. Hello, good evening. Good afternoon, rather.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cohen.
You're welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. I know that.
Good afternoon.
I like you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Mr. Thank you. Mr. Cohen, I'm moved by the video. I mean, the recording. Yeah, you play about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You know, when he was castigating the government. You see, in fact, when I had that, the audio, and in fact, I'm shedding tears. I think about this word, because you see, why do we continue to talk? Remember Awolowo up to today, because Awolowo is about the people, is about the Nigeria, is about the Western region. You understand that time, So you see, if our current president, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, can say all those things then we are now in government, 2 years, in the government, nothing has happened. Within that content, what he said, I listened very carefully. He made mention of this refinery we are all shouting for. Up to today, when he was now in government, nothing has happened. But the only thing I want to do, and he will leave, Nigeria will continue to be. And whatever he do, Nigeria will not forget. That is on that. Yes, on the issue of Said. Yes, please, on the issue of Said. What happened to Said can happen to anybody. You understand? I just want to say that. Said is doing that because of the loyalty he has for Obaseki. Because and at the same time, his own aspiration. Because maybe they have a kind of arrangement that maybe after Obaseki he will become the governor. But at the end of the day, power arrogancy came to Obaseki. It's not always how he did it to out of assembly.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If we go back into the many scenes in quotes of the former governor of Edo State, we don't live here today. His issue with the former speaker, his issue with the former PDP chairman in the state, his issue with the former APC chairman in the state that followed him into the PDP, just a whole lot. Mr. Gege Joshua, your last call for now before we go on the messages. Good to have you join us.
Good afternoon,
Joshua.
Mr. Bong,
welcome on the same.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you too.
Yeah, my take is just on this on those state election.
That's your state now,
Yes, it's my state. Yeah. See, there is we don't even need to analyze this one. I hate that you are winning. Of course, I don't have confidence in him. See, talk about winning is a thing, and another one, whether I have confidence in him or in terms of performance, I don't think he's going to perform. See, when you are taking a step as a governor, your first maybe 3 months determines what will happen in future. He's a clear person. I don't think he has what it takes to take on those states, to move on those states forward. He's a man that wants to please the political class or the loyalty electoral reform, the electoral process. If we make the pattern of voting easier, this country will be better. And even politicians will behave themselves. It is in your house. Imagine that I'm from Ondo State and I want to participate in the election. I don't need to travel to Ondo State. With my phone, I can post there. My post is down. Politicians will be afraid of us. But with this process of, we need to go and line up somewhere on Saturday, no movement, politicians know how to do about it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Joshua. We have messages on Facebook. Quite a lot of them.
Let me take this one.
Please go.
Damilare Samuel is saying on Oshomole, I believe he will behave himself because he already sees what is going on in the states. So we don't want to repeat of that. And in answer on Ondo, it's still what happens in Edo State that will happen in Edo State, in Ondo States. By the way, today is his 40th birthday, so happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Damilare. This one is coming from Chris Waniam. It says, good afternoon, Victor, me and Fuhad. On the issue of the Vice President's endorsement of Oshomole as a godfather in Edo State, it's an indication that APC is a government that will continue to endorse the godfathers in Nigeria. That is so outrageous. My advice, okay, that one just popped out. He said, my advice to the new governor of my dear state Edo is for him to roll up his sleeves and give the Edo people good governance as Edolites. We have documented his campaign promises, and we are looking to him fulfilling all of his promises. We said the scorecard is with us and we are watching. On the endorsement of the economic reforms of Tinubu by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, he said that because he doesn't live in Nigeria, and obviously is not aware of the
invite him over for vacation.
Excruciating pains of the poor masses in Nigeria. This president is a complete failure in my estimation, and what he is giving to Nigerians is bad governance. Well, that's your opinion anyway.
Okay, now let's talk to Mr. Dinjai. Hello, good afternoon, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon.
Good to have you. Good to have you, join us.
Yes, Achibong.
Mr. Dinjai, can you try and change your location a bit? You're cracking. Okay, we're still struggling to hear you. You can try and call us back 0913 0410. Maybe I'm seeing your calls, but they're just so jamming into each other. Hello?
No go jam anyone. I agree with you.
You're welcome. Please,
you have
can you change your location also? Let's see.
I'm running straight from where I am now. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better now.
It is better. Me, swag, and that's what we follow you to do. Can you spray our protect fish?
Don't worry, I'll give you all the information you need.
Fuad, are you there?
I'm in you, please, I can hear you.
Okay, we follow you that will do because we don't want any trouble we will do. Because all those two parties, we have two parties like that, whether we like it or not. Other parties are great parties like America this is. Because when you talk of APC today, you talk of PDP, and both parties, the majority of the candidate are election makers. Only the losers will cry, but the winner, the master, because the winner. That's Nigeria for you. So for me, anybody that is elected to Washington is my candidate for you. I don't want peaceful election. I don't want trouble. I don't want other to do peaceful. Nobody can make a move period time around because both of them are the same thing. So we expect a better kind to emerge as the winner. And when you talk of for me, I'm very happy about what's going on in the state. Because the mafia fought as commissioner, really qualified to be commissioner of that thing. And you believe that this might not be candidate, not the primary. But my common life forgot everything and they champion the cause of this man. That is good for him and the part his son, go for the state. If I want procedure today, myself can occupy any police qualified. America, we are coming from America. George Bush Senior rule America. Therefore, you see, when you talk about democracy, we need best candidate. Not the freedom one.
Thank you, Prince.
A mature one We need professors.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody.
We can just say it by 4 o'clock. That will be the one you say good evening. 036000410. This one says, congratulations to you guys for doing a good job. On the interest of Saudi Prince to kill the economic reforms of Tinubu-led administration, my question is this: are we beggars while our refinery is not working? Is there any refinery in Saudi Arabia that is not fully functional? Is the electricity there not almost steady and affordable? Are bandits and terrorists in control of certain part of Saudi Arabia? Are there no drugs, food, and good education and discipline in Saudi Arabia? The Prince of Saudi Arabia is so rich to the tune of our national budget and more, but that is our concern. Election is already won and lost in Edo State. APC are rejoicing already. What a pity! Nigeria will rise again. As Prince from Ojo Alaba. Thank you very much for some really interesting questions. He raised there, by the way. I'm on calls 1-600-0410. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Mɪᴅ-ᴡᴇᴇ.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Stanford.
Yeah.
Look at your governor.
Mr. John, good afternoon, sir.
About the election, yes. We want a peaceful and credible election.
That's your state too, Mr. John.
That's my stand, honestly. And I don't want a replica or a repeat of what happened in 1983. That was not about Baba Jackson. We don't want that. So we want a very peaceful, seamless election suppose there. But with the politicians allow that to happen, that's the only problem. And somebody make an example of the other Oṣomale-son being eliminated as I said that there's quite a lot wrong about it. Is it about development of the people? Is it about nation building? Yes, not only George Bush of America, we have the Gandhi dynasty. Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi. Can you remember that? In India. But in that, where is India today? What? Highly developed nation. Am I right?
Of course, yes.
Those leaders have vision, but our leader has the vision, except to come and do and impose their impostors and impose their children and grandchildren on us. That is what they have. So I didn't adore that. Let them give everybody free time. Give his only so that he will tell us like that. Is he coming to develop the people? No. Thank you. And in other class where you have a leader that has the interest of the people like Abachoya. See where India is now. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Stanford, there's a carnival going on in Accra as we speak. I'm seeing Michael Okpayemi Bamidele. I'm seeing Ayodele Wisdom, the minister of the governor of the state. I'm seeing Olushola. I'm seeing our fine boy Prince Dapabiode, the governor of the state. I'm also seeing the governor of Lagos, I'm seeing the governor of Ondo State, the candidate of the party. It's a carnival. It's the powers that be the rules. And the vice president is also there. It's a contract. It's an existing contract.
The father is fixed perfectly.
Deliver. Is one size fits all. It's a brother that will not go under.
If they put a show on this Agara, they will go.
I know they do a show by that size now. Is that bad? Don't put me in trouble. Excuse me one more call before we call it the day of the show. Good afternoon.
Is it better now?
Yeah, thank you for calling back.
My name is my question.
Straight to the point.
The doctor also call a radio program and criticize our leaders. Our job we are worse than them. Because we come on there and give false information. Information that are so fact. Why would somebody be elected in Ondo now? He's telling us that something that happened in that place, the thing should happen again.
It can never happen.
The government said it should not happen.
That's what I'm saying.
It should not nothing in that direction.
No, there's nothing big in
Mr. Broja, one of the candidates, Ajayi, the political candidate, is even the one that referred to 1983.
Yes. At the debate.
Then we people who are not in Ondo have to pick up.
So are you going to blame them?
That's why I don't live in Ondo, but let the Ondo like Abiyahu call them Oᴘᴇíᴇᴅ. Let them decide who will there for another 4 years.
And be peaceful about it, yes.
So that's the other one. Don't really see. That's what always come on radio. Thank
you very much, Mr. Buja. Aside from that, there's a show about the background.
And that's what I didn't say that better with
he
you.
cannot wear background. They cannot do Baba size. The space in front is too small for him to dance. So he has to stay at the back. Baba likes to dance. At the end of the day, they will finish. Everybody will go. My lady PDP comes here tomorrow. They will still do the same thing.
And then on Saturday,
I think we have a lot more to do in terms of how we run elections here. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Bolaji from Ijoko.
Mr. Bolaji from Ijoko.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pᴏ. Good afternoon.
Victor, yeah.
You see, in the school days, the definition of nepotism has just started. You understand? Just let us leave it at that. We can never have a good leader, or we cannot have good leaders if our electoral, the fraudulent law we are using now, if it is not reformed. Let us demand for electoral reform now, because if we can't, if we don't get it before 2027, we are going nowhere. We are gradually turning into one party system now. Do you understand? That's what is sure. So people, I hear some people, they will be comparing us with US all the time. Why don't you compare us with Indonesia and Malaysia that we started together? Look at it. Yesterday I was trying to ask Open to answer his guest that okay, when he was saying start, I said Open, ask your guest. Where is our other 44 natural resources? Who is
We are managing it illegally.
Where is the money going to? Is it the individual, the foreigners who are in our bush? Who is responsible for this? Let us begin to ask questions. You press, you have a job to be there. That is my advocate. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and as well. Side fraud. We need to leave the studio with press for time. Victor, that's Abdullah Gandhi J. Ordinarily, you would expect the White Lion to be at the forefront of all of this conversation. I'm seeing the national woman leader of the APC. I'm seeing the national chairman of the APC. I'm seeing the national youth leader of the APC. I'm seeing the national secretary of the APC. I'm trying to remember now. Before she became the minister and then she got suspended. I remember her name. That she standing there by the way.
Better idea is what now?
Better idea is under investigation.
So she's not
better idea. Better idea is not better idea. Life can be very fickle. The same better idea that was the commissioner. She was the
even if she's still a minister, how busy and now active
at this time. You know, I remember I went to read on her story when I saw her minister, and I remember that she was a commissioner during COVID. So she was the head of the commissioner for health in all of the 36 states, and she was the one in charge of COVID information management team of the commissioner for health. And then before we could say Jack Robinson, she became the national woman leader of the APC, became the minister, and the ascension,
to becoming a minister
pretty fast.
And then look at the fall. Also very fast.
It went as good as it came, or as quick as it came. Aside from most people there, maybe you come back and look at 2,053,061 votes of Ondo State people. Let's see how many of them come out on Saturday.
I mean, like
by Sunday too.
You can't be more than about 5,000. The political answer be already have a figure.
Exactly. Let's see if you can squeeze in 30 seconds. Mr. Lakola have been calling. Just 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds.
It is not only in this state, it's very, very simple. It's a case of Yokozuna versus Kylo. This time around,
if you know Skylo, you're going.
We can
back in the days.
Skylo right there. What
That is basically the rule.
But wrestling is not real. Wrestling is not real, right?
Only whatever it is, but I think you can see the matchup and you can see the weight category.
That is weak. But it could be a David Goliath thing, it could happen.
I will conclude that. Basically, quickly, so I know that my brother from Ondo State said something about it, but it's funny to me because I know that he was somebody that was in his own cocoon. They went there to pick him to come on the deputy governor. From there, he became governor. From there, he's going to contest this Saturday. If he wins, another 4 years and does that. And from there, he might move to other places. I probably would also pray that my life follows that kind of trajectory, so that whatever it is said about him, I will join him in that.
You are lucky your name.
Can you see?
Names are lucky, like good luck. Most of them are manifested so well in this country.
You want to add a do to
Victor?
No, but you know,
No, there's no Victor. We have not seen any Victor.
Everybody that has a deputy governor, they're lucky now.
Lucky or good luck. Be careful. Thank you guys for being a part of the production. Big shout out to you, Victor and Southfra, for coming through as always. Today, we're done. Tomorrow is going to be another day, but it's going to be 4 to 6 p.m. 4 to 5:30 p.m. rather in the situation. But today, by 3 o'clock is going to be the vibes. Reapers Wednesday, and we have a superstar in the house, just like we had a Charlie Poppy on the show yesterday. We're going to be hosting Young Gidu. Remember, the former label guy for Portable and the old drama that followed. That will be by 3 p.m. Join Jay Dan, the good guy with the bad intention, and Beautiful Bibi by 3 o'clock. And of course, by 4 o'clock, join Sage Babalola in the Situation Room. My name is Opa. Don't forget to always keep your dial locked only on Mona 98.3 FM, because we are the sound of Lagos. Hello, good afternoon. I'll be right back.